This is ATN Global News. First, the headlines. Police deny sealing RSIEC office in Port Harcourt. Police tear gas protesters in FCT. Tinubu convokes National Youth Confab. FG plans to sustain mining practices. Bus fire kills 23 persons in Thailand. I am worth over £100 million. Osimhen. Funke Hills fans on Independence Day. And now the news in details. Thugs on Tuesday took over the protest ground used during the August End Bad Governance protest in Rumukuta in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. The venue was earlier announced as a state's gathering point for the Fearless in October demonstration against economic hardship in the country. The thugs allegedly threatened to beat up any journalist who dared film them, while similar protests are being held in other parts of the country, including Lagos and Abuja, as Nigeria celebrates its 64th independence anniversary. The protesters demanded that President Bola Tinubu's administration should reverse petrol subsidy removal, forex unification, twin policies that they claimed were responsible for soaring inflation and living costs in the country. The youth occupied territories between the Federal Secretariat and the Hotel Presidential along Aba Road, while about 5 police patrols manned by armed policemen, soldiers and operators believed to be from the Department of State Services were spotted, and the number of the anti-PLS protesters swelled early, as over 200 were seen at about 10 a.m. at the same location. Efforts to reach spokesperson of the State Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, about the arrest of the youths proved abortive. Rivers State Police Command has denied sealing office of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission in Port Harcourt. Spokesperson for the Rivers State Police Command, Superintendent of Police SP Grace Iringekoko, in a telephone chat with which FM correspondent Samuel Ajirowo clarified the allegation by some online publications that the office of RSIEC was sealed by the police. She said the police officers seen at the RSIE office were posted to the plate on the directive of the Commissioner of Police to protect the facility against any attack during the ongoing nationwide protest in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, 1st October 2024. The police image maker advised people to always verify the facts before publication and also revealed that there is no iota of truth in the allegation peddled in some social media platforms that the police assaulted and beat up some protesters. This is coming after RSIEC had fixed 5th October 2024 to conduct local government area elections in Rivers State. Residents of Delta State on Tuesday shunned the much-touted October 1st anti-government protest as people were seen going about freely without any molestation. However, military and police operatives were sighted at strategic locations in the 2 metropolitan cities of Warri and Efurun, apparently in their bid to ensure the security of lives and property. This is coming after thousands of Niger Delta ex-agitators had besieged Warri last Friday, where they declared their objection to any anti-government October 1st protest and also vowed to resist proponents at all costs. The respondent agitators, who spoke through their leaders at the stakeholders meeting organized by the Presidential Amnesty Program, led by its administrator, Dr. Dennis Otuaro, called on the people of the Niger Delta region to avoid protests before, during, or after October 1st, as the proponents are self-serving. They expressed a hope that the challenges of the Niger Delta region would be addressed by President Bola Tinubu's administration. Still, the protest residents of Akwa Ibom State are going about their normal and lawful duties unmolested, as the youth did not take part in the nationwide October 1st protest. A walk by our correspondents around the strategic locations in the Uyo metropolis, such as the Ibom Plaza, Waniba Water Fountain, and the Cenotaph along Udom Avenue, where protesters normally converge, revealed that there was no sign of a gathering. At the popular Ibom Plaza, people were only seen in clusters discussing bad governance and hike in petroleum products. Some were selling wares, while few others were seen glued to newspapers. There was still no sign of protesters as the place was empty and bereft of social activities, with few police and other security operatives stationed at strategic locations. This is coming after the state governor, Omo Eno, had donated the sum of 310 million naira to appreciate the youths for not participating in the previous End Bad Governance protest. And the Commissioner of Police, CP Joseph Eribo, had, while fielding questions from journalists during his maiden press conference on Monday, said the command had made adequate deployment for the protest. Former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, has joined the ongoing protest in Lagos State. Sowore, who is one of the key organizers of the protest, arrived at the protest ground at Ikeja on the bridge at exactly 8:50 a.m. Sowore said the protest was a crucial step towards taking Nigeria to the promised land, adding that the action symbolized the people's rejection of the government's Independence Day celebration. Sowore also questioned whether Nigerians had not given the government enough chances, citing how former President Muhammadu Buhari allegedly misused the additional time given to him. The protest, however, is being closely monitored by a large contingent of security personnel, including policemen, officials of Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Amid growing frustration over the worsening economic situation in the country, protesters took to the streets of Ogun State on Tuesday, demanding immediate action from the government. The demonstration, organized by the Coalition of Concerned Nigerian Citizens and supported by members of the Take It Back movement, drew a significant security presence. The protest kicked off at Freedom Park with protesters chanting anti-government songs and calling for an end to the economic hardship that has left many Nigerians struggling. The march was closely monitored by a large contingent of security operatives, including personnel from the Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and the Nigerian Correctional Service. The security agencies maintained a heavy presence, shadowing the protesters in a long convoy as they moved towards the Okefia area of the state capital, while the protest caused a traffic gridlock around the old garage area as the protesters began their march through the streets. Still on the protest, youths in Ondo State stormed the streets of Akure, the state capital, on Tuesday to protest against economic hardship currently ravaging the country. The protesters, under the aegis of Revolution Now, were converged at the popular cathedral intersection, lamented that the President Tinubu-led administration had been unbearable for everyone. The protest was monitored by the combined team of armed police officers and men of the State Security Service who mounted strategic locations within the Akure metropolis. While demanding immediate action over the high cost of staple foods and inflation amid growing frustration on the price of petrol nationwide, one of the leaders, Kunle Ajayi, popularly known as Wiseman, fumed that the government had not been sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. Ajayi explained that the various anti-people policies of the current government have further plunged the country into an economic crisis, noting that Nigerians can no longer bear the hardship. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has reiterated that the security of the people remains paramount to his administration and reaffirmed his commitment to making decisions that will prioritize the welfare of Oyo State residents. Speaking during the state broadcast on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, to mark Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, Governor Makinde highlighted the importance of strengthening democratic institutions and fostering unity among Nigerians, and attributed the strides in development to the support of the people over the last 5 years. Makinde used the occasion to announce new initiatives aimed at boosting economic recovery and empowering local businesses, adding that the state government had expanded the guarantor base for small-scale loans to agri entrepreneurs under the Agricultural Credit Corporation of Oyo State. Makinde spoke on the importance of unity, shared identity, culture, and history, and also reassured residents of the government's continued efforts to ensure their safety. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has granted amnesty to 117 convicts currently serving various prison terms in the state. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adenion, on Tuesday, Ayedatiwa's gesture was a transformative decision aimed at reforming the lives of those affected, adding that the initiative followed recommendations from the Advisory Council on the Prerogative of Mercy, highlighting a commitment to rehabilitation and second chances within the justice system. He said the governor's decision was formally announced by Dr. Olukayode Ajolo, as well as the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, who is also the chairman of the Advisory Council of the Prerogative of Mercy. Officers of the Nigerian Police Force have dispersed fearless in October protesters gathered at the Utako market in Abuja. This is coming after the protesters have converged at the market as early as 7 a.m. on Tuesday to protest the hardship faced by Nigerians occasioned by government policies and programs. However, police officers promptly dispersed the protesters at about 8:54 a.m. The October 1st protesters tagged Fearless in October is a continuation of the end-bus governance protest held between August 1st and 10th in response to the economic hardship experienced by many Nigerians. Former Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has denied that his entry into politics was driven solely by a desire to serve the people, not to amass wealth or siphon public funds. El-Rufai, who disclosed this on Tuesday during a Hausa program aired on Freedom Radio Kaduna, the former governor dismissed allegations of financial misconduct during his administration, adding that he was already financially content before assuming office. The Kaduna State House of Assembly had earlier indicted El-Rufai's administration for the misappropriation of over 423 billion naira during his 8-year tenure, and his associates have categorically denied the accusation, labeling them as politically motivated. The former governor expressed dismay over the allegations, saying his administration has been accused without any clear evidence of where the money went missing or who took it, and claimed that his allies were being targeted and invited by the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as part of a smear campaign against him. Amid side security, Kaduna State Governor Senator Oba Sani has urged Nigerians to draw strength from their resilience and capacity to unite in the face of adversity. In his address at Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna on Tuesday, marking the nation's 64th independence anniversary, Sani said and the significance of Nigeria's independence achieved on 1st October 1960. He acknowledged the country's journey marked by both highs and lows over the past 64 years, adding that the celebration was not only about the freedom attained but also the collective efforts that have brought the nation so far. He recognized the current economic challenges faced by many households, attributing them to global economic systems and past mismanagement, and expressed optimism, noting that both the federal and state governments were implementing measures to alleviate the hardship experienced by citizens. 11 persons have been confirmed dead, with 6 others in critical conditions following a cholera outbreak in Apabozu community of Apa in Ado local government area of Benue State. This was disclosed to newsmen in Makurdi by the immediate past secretary to the Ado Local Government Council, Dr. Perpetua Okafo, who hails from the area. According to her, the outbreak was reported about 4 days ago, when the cholera pandemic has killed 11 persons and has left about 6 persons in critical condition. While the Benue State Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Dr. Yamwa Otse, confirmed the situation but failed to give the number of casualties recorded so far. Experts have decried poor standard of schools across the country. Speaking on the Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a development expert, Goodluck Edafe, said most schools across the country is substandardly operated and the society cannot afford the risk of the Nigerian child.
Put down the futures of our children because somebody wants to do business. Because school today is just business. Somebody who doesn't have work to do, just come up with the idea, okay, let me run a school. And if you should do that, not only in Benue, if you go eat round, even in Niger Delta here, if you say you want to go round, even River State here, if you want to go round, how many schools will stay? So as far as put down the futures of our children because somebody want to do business. Because school today is just business. Somebody who doesn't have work to do just come up with the idea, okay, let me run a school. And if you should do that, not only in Benue, if you go eat round, even in Niger Delta here, if you say you want to go round, even River City here, if you want to go round, how many schools will stay? So as far as...
Idafe also highlighted the business focus of school operations compared to other trade across the country.
Those who go to the street to sell clothes is their business. Those who go to the river to catch fish is their business. And these ones, hey, what will I do now? Well, let me just use this 2-room or 3-room to do my own school. It's business. It's because it has nothing to do. So we cannot compromise the future of this country, of our states. But where
ATN reports that no fewer than 2,416 illegal schools have been discovered operating in Benue State. The Director General of the Bureau of Education Quality Assurance, Dr. Tena Francis, disclosed this when he led a team to seal off a private school known as Benedictine Order Academy, located in Yiman, Makodi. In a major breakthrough, troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 3 of Operation Wellstroke have apprehended 10 suspects, including 8 Boko Haram terrorists and 2 notorious kidnapping informants in Taraba State. A statement released Tuesday in Jalingo by the Acting Assistant Director of Army Public Relations, Captain Olubonde Oni, said the arrest followed a carefully executed raid on 29 September 2024 at the residence of Tukara Abdul Karim, a suspected Boko Haram leader in Sukani Ward, Adokola local government area of the state. The suspects, who reportedly traveled from the different parts of the country to join the terror group, confessed to being members of Boko Haram. The Army spokesperson also revealed that Abdul Karim confessed to being involved in Boko Haram activities alongside his brother Adamu Abdul Karim, who remains at large. And items recovered from the suspects include 9 mobile phones, identity cards, and illicit substances believed to be marijuana and other hard drugs. In a separate operation conducted on 30th September 2024, soldiers stationed in Chachangi village, Takulu government area, arrested 2 women, Patience Abadu Teso and Joy Ngwemo Emmanuel, believed to be the wife and sister of a notorious kidnapper, Ayengo, who allegedly providing key information to his criminal syndicate. The commander of the 6th Brigade, Brigadier General Kingsley Chiduberi Uwa, praised the professionalism and swift action of the troops who, with his said, had forwarded terror plots and safeguarded the lives of civilians in the state. Planned October 1st protests in Kano, being organized by the Nigerian Patriotic Front movement, did not hold on Tuesday following the alleged arrest of 5 officials of the group. This is coming after officials of the group had last week vowed to stage a peaceful protest against the current hardship being experienced by Nigerians. While following the anticipated planned protests, many residents remained indoors, while many business places, including some markets and shops, remained closed. It was observed that amid security personnel deployed to various strategic places were still keeping vigil to ensure law and order in the ancient city, while few vehicles had been plying the major streets. A cross-section of residents said the situation attributed the closure of some business premises to the experience where some hoodlums turned the End Bad Governance protest into violence by destroying and looting government and private properties. An operative of the Yobe State Police Command has been arrested over alleged homicide. The command's public relations officer, DSP Dungus Abdul Karim, in a statement on Tuesday, said the Commissioner of Police, Garba Ahmed, has ordered an immediate investigation into the homicide incident involving one Inspector Mohammed Bulama, attached to Police Mobile Force 41 Division, Damaturu. The said Criminal Investigation Department has commenced investigation, and Bulama is currently in custody pending internal disciplinary action and prosecution, while a statement by the Commissioner of Police, Garba Ahmed, who condemned Bulama's action, expressed condolences to Dauda's family and urged assure the public of a thorough and swift investigation and justice on the matter. As Nigeria celebrates its 64th independence anniversary, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang on Tuesday granted a pardon to 5 prison inmates while calling on citizens to embrace the spirit of peace, unity and compassion despite the challenges confronting the country. In a state broadcast, Mutfwang declared the pardon of the 5 inmates who he said had demonstrated significant improvements in their behavior and conduct, and urged Nigerians to remain hopeful and steadfast in their resolve to build a united and peaceful nation that would be a source of pride for all. Mutfwang acknowledged the daily struggles of the people of Plateau State and Nigerians in general and assured them that he shares in the pains and urged the citizens to maintain their trust in the government's efforts. He wished all Nigerians and the people of Plateau State a peaceful and joyful independence celebration. In celebration of Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the security of lives and property in the state. A statement by the governor's special advisor in media and publicity, Mukhtar Gidado, said as a responsible and responsive government, measures are in collaboration with security agencies to protect the lives and property by swiftly addressing any form of security challenges. The statement, while extending the governor's felicitation on the occasion of the 64th independence anniversary, called on Nigerians to reflect on the struggle and sacrifice of the country's founding fathers and to ensure that their efforts were not in vain, adding that 64 years after independence, Nigerians have proudly overcome skepticism about their ability to govern themselves. The governor commended Nigerians' resilience in the face of current economic hardship, which he said have made life difficult for many, and also appealed to Nigerians to rededicate themselves to the development of the country. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Observe the Independence Day parade held at the forecourt of the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Tinubu, with a special guest, arrived at the venue in the company of his wife, the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, and was ushered into the saluting daisies for national salute and the national anthem. Afterwards, he inspected the guard of honor led by Lieutenant Colonel Moshood Yusuf and sat to observe military drills, a colorful parade, and a presidential charge or change of guards performed by officers and men of the Brigade of Guards. This was followed by the special presidential change and the consequent inspection of the quarter guards parade between the outgoing and incoming guards commanders. Tuesday's Independence Day parade also featured the Combined Armed Forces color patrol, which displayed the national color and the regimental colors of the Nigerian Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. Thereafter, the Guards Brigade platoon performed special silence. The ceremony also featured a cultural display by different troops from the country's 6 geopolitical zones, highlighting the strength and diversity of the Nigerian people. The cultural display also exhibited collaboration by all regions to raise a light-sized talking drum called the National Treasure, while President Tinubu subsequently signed the anniversary register and released the white PJs, and thereafter the cutting of the anniversary cake. Analysts has highlighted insecurity as the most terrible problem of Nigeria among several challenges confronting the nation as Nigeria celebrates her 64th independence anniversary. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst, Wisdom Leon, said insecurity and judicial rascality among citizens and politicians is the biggest problem facing the country.
As regards even people not obeying laws, which is, if you ask me, is the head of every other issue, because it is disobedience to law and order that gives room to insecurity. It is disobedience to law and order that gives room to governors abusing of power. It is the disobedience to law and order that gives room to impunity in office. So in a nutshell, I want to
Land identify kidnapping and insurgency as major setback troubling Nigeria.
That today Nigerians have continued to, enjoy and observe what is really happening in Nigeria today. So for that reason, I would say let us continue to hope, because I will always continue to advise, like Ben.
This is coming as Nigerian leaders and citizens alike have continued to express mixed feelings on the state of the nation as Nigeria marks her 64th independence anniversary. While the leaders generally express hope and optimism that things would change and improve with time, a majority of the citizens express despair, with some deciding to stage a protest today in expression of their frustration. President Bola Tinubu has declared a 30-day confab for Nigerian youths to discuss challenges confronting them. Tinubu disclosed this during his 64th Independence Day anniversary broadcast. President Tinubu says Nigeria must either reform for progress and prosperity or continue with business as usual and risk collapse. He said his administration, over the leadership of the country 60 months ago, and decided to reform the political economy and defense architecture, given the critical juncture the country found itself. He lamented that Nigeria found itself in a precarious situation because of the missed opportunities and mistakes of the past, while calling on Nigerians not to allow the mistakes to follow the country into the future. This was part of the text of the national broadcast by the President on the occasion of the 64th independence anniversary of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, delivered on Tuesday morning. He also said Nigeria got its independence from Britain as its royal colonial master on October 1st, 1960, adding that if the country did not correct the fiscal misalignment that led to the current economic downturn, it would face an uncertain future and the peril of unimaginable consequences. President Bola Tinubu says his government raised Nigerian foreign reserve from $33 billion to $37 billion and cleared 30 trillion naira raise and means debt received from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Tinubu, who said this in his national broadcast to mark the Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, credited the development to the CBN's disciplined approach to monetary policy management, which he said ensures stability and predictability in the foreign exchange market. Tinubu also said the milestones were achieved despite the many headwinds Nigeria's economy had faced since assumed office 16 months ago. As Nigeria celebrates its 64th independence anniversary, Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele has called on national leaders to urgently address the critical challenges undermining the country's unity, prosperity, and stability. A statement issued by his Directorate of Media on Tuesday to commemorate the anniversary, Bamidele stressed the need for unity in confronting the socio-economic and political issues affecting the nation and urged leaders to focus on what unites the nation rather than diversion along ethnic, political, and religious lines. He called on leaders across political, religious, and cultural sectors to collaborate and find solutions to the problems threatening national harmony and collective prosperity, and also underscored the importance of the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution at the National Assembly, describing it as an opportunity to reform Nigeria's federal structure for greater efficiency and functionality. He also said the Assembly had received 37 fresh memoranda from various stakeholders nationwide, along with 16 constitution amendment bills inherited from the previous assembly, while among the proposals under consideration are the establishment of state police, diaspora voting, financial autonomy for local governments, judicial independence, special seats for women in legislative bodies, and the creation of a national council for traditional rulers. He called for participation from Nigerians, assuring them that all interests would be considered as the review process progresses, adding that public hearings on the Constitution review have been scheduled to begin in January 2025. As Nigeria marks its 64th independence anniversary, former President of the Senate, David Mark, has taken stock of Nigeria's antecedents and submitted that the time has come for a sober reflection. A statement by the former Senate President's media advisor Paul Mume in Kano on Tuesday indicated that Mark called for sober reflection in a goodwill message to Nigerians. Mark in the statement reflected on the country's journey so far and noted that in spite of the challenges of insecurity, poverty, disease, and general underdevelopment, Nigeria is endowed with human and natural resources capable of turning the country's fortunes around for good. He recalled the 30-month-old fratricidal civil war, occasional ethnological conflicts, and the uncertainties surrounding political engagement, saying that all these issues are traceable to inadequacies of leadership and citizens' failure. He then cautioned against divisive tendencies and inflammatory statements in recent times that tend to exacerbate the already fragmented atmosphere and urged Nigerian leaders to prioritize the needs and welfare of the people. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, has urged leaders and citizens alike to reflect deeply on the country's current state. Obi warned that Nigeria is urgently in need of rescue from further decay and highlighted the nation's challenges across economic, social and security sectors. He made the call on Tuesday in a statement he shared on his X handle in commemoration of the nation's 64th Independence Day, and while acknowledging the significance of independence, stressing that the country's abundant resources have not translated into meaningful progress. He expressed concern over Nigeria's underperformance in key areas of development, questioning whether the nation has truly improved the lives of its people, and pointed to critical issues plaguing the country, including widespread poverty, a broken education system, and an overwhelming debt burden. Obi also drew comparison with other countries that gained independence around the same time as Nigeria, noting that while these nations have made significant strides, Nigeria appears to be in decline. President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Archbishop Daniel Oko, has urged Nigerians to be courageous and hopeful, calling for unity and progress. He made the call in a statement on Tuesday as the country celebrates its 64th independence anniversary, adding that the importance of reflecting on the nation's journey depends on celebrating achievements and recommitting to the ideals of peace and harmony. He urged citizens to embrace peaceful coexistence and work collaboratively to build a future marked by mutual respect and understanding, and acknowledge the progress made in combating terrorism terrorism and banditry, but stressed the need for vigilance. The Archbishop also addressed pressing issues such as education and employment, stating social justice remains a cornerstone of the national aspirations and expressed vision for sustainable growth through focused national development, including infrastructure and youth empowerment. Social media influencer Martins Osei, popularly known as Very Dark Man, arrived at the National Assembly along with his lawyer Deji Adeyaju, while before the House of Representatives Joint Committee on the investigation of distributing allegation of corruption against the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and the National Nigerian Correctional Services, while BDM recounted what he posted online and sent audio recordings to the committee along the other documents. Idris Okuneye, aka Bobrisky, was not present at the hearing, but was represented by a lawyer, Averosinge Omuvwe, who told the House Committee that Idris was not present due to ill health. The lawmakers, however, questioned why this information was not accompanied with a doctor's report.
Okay, so I'm giving him the flash that fix the best audio recording of about 5 minutes 36 seconds. And then I'm giving him the first receipt for transaction the guy made for receipt. Also some part of the charts, and then the return of the money, which was on Tuesday, September 24th, on Tuesday, just 6 days ago, I think. Then the charts acknowledging when he was disturbing the guy that he wants to refund immediately after he saw my video. And the charts where he blackmailed the guy. There's a particular place where he blackmailed the guy. The charts also asking for the money. As a reminder, we would like to read one part on September 4th. It said, dear Bobrisky. Additionally, after this, there's a second one and there's a third one.
Mr. Okuneye is unavailable absence because of his ill health. But I came in from Lagos this morning to show respect to the committee. Now, the issue of
it's okay.
Let me make my
no. You said it's not feeling well. Also, do you have any letter from the doctor to medical report? So that you should have said it. For you to have come here and given all that kind of excuse, you should have been accompanied with a medical report to say that you so unwell that he cannot be here. So please, when next we invite him, we hope you will be well by that time.
We are going to invite Mr. Okuneye Idris in our next hearing.
This is coming after a Very Dark Man posted an audio in which Bobrisky reportedly claimed he bribed some EFCC officials with 50 million naira to drop the money laundering charge against him. Up next is ATM Business News. Reactions have continued to show the statistics of steady electricity supply enjoyed by over 40% of Nigerians. Speaking on the Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowouts, an economic expert, Loveday Dandy, says statistics obtained by the Minister of Power as it concerns an improved electricity supply across the country is not realistic.
Understand the criteria. It could be within the township, because I know very well that in certain rural areas, let me not even generalize, in my own area, let's talk about the Emoha local government area where I come from. I don't even want to say so that nobody will say I'm pointing area. That area have not seen light for about 3 years and over 6 months. They've not seen electricity, they've not seen the pump have not shine. That's to talk about. So that's why I said I don't even know. And when you talk about it, you're talking about generally a government. We didn't say there have been.
And now what you also said, the epileptic electricity status in the country is negatively affecting the nation's economy.
Moving, not blink. There's not even a blink. It's constant. So we don't have constant power supply in Nigeria. That about 40% of Nigerians will say, oh, even Asorok, Are you aware? Even go and check the budget of 2023. Fuel generator was budgeted. Are you aware? So if we have strategic power,
this is coming after Nigeria's Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelebu, said over 40% of Nigerian electricity consumers are currently enjoying over 20 hours of regular electricity supply across the nation. Adelebu disclosed this in a statement to review the activities of the Power Ministry in the last year. Nigerian oil marketers say Port Harcourt Refinery is in serious progress in its rehabilitation by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Abubakar Mugandi, the president of Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, who disclosed this, said that his assessment of the government-owned refinery with a combined 250 barrels per day comes after he visited the plant last week. He said premium motor spirit and other petroleum products production will kick off soon in Port Harcourt Refinery, but he failed to state the exact dates, adding that the refinery did not kick off production in September as earlier scheduled due to leakages, stating that the NNPCL has started to fix the setback. This is coming after in July, Melekari, the group chief executive officer of NNPCL, had announced that the refinery with a combined capacity of 250 barrels per day would commence operation in August, while the NNPCL had announced March and July 2024 dates for the commencement of the refinery after its mechanical completion in December last year. Conference of Nigerian Political Parties has accused the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited of interference in the distribution of locally refined petroleum products, describing it as a national economic sabotage. A statement in Taraba State signed by its National Publicity Secretary James Zima, the conference expressed deep concern over the lingering controversy surrounding the pricing of petrol from the Dangote refinery, citing far-reaching implications for the economic livelihood and democracy in Nigeria and Africa. Also urged NNPCL to immediately cease its meddling and allow Dangote refinery and other local refineries to operate freely, ensuring competitive pricing and supply. The discrepancy, according to the NPP, raises questions about transparency, accountability, and the potential for exploitation of ordinary citizens, and expressed concerns at the high pump price of petrol, which it believed had exacerbated hunger and hardship among the masses, with fuel queues becoming a common sight and prices tripling since the subsidy removal in May 2023. Vice President Kashim Shettima has lauded the Development Bank of Nigeria for its contribution to the growth of micro, small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. A statement by Shettima commended the bank for providing over 787 billion naira in loans for more than 500,000 MSMEs since 2014, a move that has boosted job creation and poverty reduction. Speaking at the 5th DBN annual lecture held in Abuja, the Vice President, represented by the Special Advisor to the President on Economic Affairs, Tope Fasua, said the bank's impact on MSMEs aligned with the federal government's priorities of ending poverty, promoting economic growth, and ensuring access to capital. He highlighted that DBN's initiative supported President Bola Ahmed's agenda of economic inclusivity, access to finance, and job creation, which also touched on the government's ongoing efforts to empower MSMEs, mentioning the signing of foreign direct investment deals worth over $500 million and the launch of several programs aimed at improving access to finance and skills for Nigerian youth and small businesses. The Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of DBN, Tony Okpanachi, stressed the need for more support from institutions and the private sector to aid growth, adding that the current global economic challenges such as inflation and disruptions in supply chains were affecting Nigerian businesses, calling for collaborative efforts to alleviate financial constraints on MSMEs. Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative says Nigeria lost 362.28 million barrels of crude oil due to measurement errors, sabotage, and production adjustments between 2014 and 2023. This implies that the country lost about 992,547 barrels of crude oil daily to the above-mentioned crisis in 10 years. And in the latest report titled Oil and Gas Industry Audit 2023, An independent report assessing and reconciling physical process and financial flows within Nigeria oil and gas industry. Agency also said the total crude oil production deferment during the review period was 110.66 million barrels. A report on crude oil losses was compiled by reviewing multiple sources, including the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission submissions during the NATI audit period and the signed-off reports from companies such as Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. NATI refers to deferment as a stoppage in production due to scheduled and unscheduled repairs and maintenance, pipeline breaks, leaks, or poor equipment performance, adding that Nigeria, as an oil-producing country, has continued to struggle with fully leveraging its oil and gas potential, facing persistent management challenges. In 2024, a loss of 1 million was recorded, and it increased by 2,612% to 27.2 million in 2015. As Nigeria marks its 64th Independence Day celebration, all marketers and refiners have expressed optimism with the kickoff of the Naira for crude sale deal between the federal government and the Dangote refinery on Tuesday. The price of premium motor spirits will reduce in the coming weeks and months. The president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Abubakar Mugandi, and spokesperson for the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria, Eche Idoku, disclosed that the Technical Subcommittee on Domestic Sales of Crude Oil in Local Currency, Zach Adedeji, and the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service confirmed that all is set for the Tuesday, October 1st, 2024 kickoff of the crude oil sale in Naira deal to Dangote Refinery through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The confirmation of the deal's commencement comes after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave the approval in July 2024, while the price of petrol has a significant effect on the cost of transportation in Nigeria. It is then believed that low prices of petrol following the implementation of the Naira for crude deal will directly impact the cost of transportation and then also affect the prices of goods and services across the country. Farmers under the aegis of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria have raised alarm over looming hunger across the country and urged the government to intervene urgently to avert the problems. A statement by the national president of AFAN, Kabir Ibrahim, said food inflation and severe pressure on Nigeria's agricultural system, including low mechanization, difficulty in access to credit, veritable and affordable seed, as well as manageable transportation, insecurity, and flooding were driving hunger. Ibrahim warned that unless urgent and focused action is taken to address agriculture and agribusiness challenges, Nigeria could face devastating food shortages. The Afghan president called for transparency and efficiency in distribution of palliative, importation of essential food items, and support to smallholder farmers, stating that this effort must be managed effectively to bring immediate relief to Nigerians. Ibrahim urged the government to facilitate seamless agribusiness practices through opportunities such as the African Continental Free Trade Area, and called for incentives and affordable credit to small and large-scale business players to agri-business players to ensure they can scale up food production and distribution. Landing cost of petrol has dropped from the 981 naira per litre recorded on September 25, 2024 to 945.63 naira per litre as of September 27th. According to data released by the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, the drop in the landing cost of petrol happened following the appreciation of the naira against the United States dollar. The formers have also contributed to the reduction in the landing cost of imported petrol, while the average ex-depot prices of PMS saw a marginal reduction in Lagos, Calabar, and Port Harcourt. The major marketers disclosed that the landing cost of diesel, which was 1,089 naira per litre, previously dropped to 1,068 naira 4 kobo per litre, while that aviation fuel also fell from 1,117 naira 34 kobo per litre to 1,079 naira 79 kobo per litre. It was observed that the difference between imported petrol and that of Dangote might be less than 46 naira if calculated by the 898 naira per litre, which the Nigerian National Petroleum Company claimed it bought the Dangote fuel. As the country marks its 64th anniversary, maritime operators have urged the federal government to tackle the issue of fluctuating exchange rates to boost importation. The operators who spoke in Lagos, however, admitted that the maritime sector had recorded significant growth in the past few years. The youth leader of the Tinkan Island chapter of the Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents, Sikiru Remilekun, said despite the recorded growth, fiscal policies still pose a big challenge to the sector, adding that pegging the exchange rate for cargo clearance at less than 1,000 naira per dollar would grow the sector by over 200%. Also speaking, a ship captain said Southwest Director of the Merchant Seafarers Association of Nigeria, Williams Ogunshakin, called on the government to assist MAPOL in the area of cleaning the waterways by creating something similar to the Lagos Waste Management Authority in the waterways across the country. In commemoration of the Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has lauded the nation's resilience and entrepreneurial spirit amidst global challenges. In a post on X.com on Tuesday, Okonjo-Iweala said, despite the tough time facing Nigeria, Nigerians should appreciate being one of the most interesting countries in the world. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu said the economy was undergoing necessary reforms and retooling to serve the people better and more sustainably, and also assured Nigerians that his administration was implementing measures to reduce the cost of living in the country. You are still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. Ghanaians are set to stage a 3-day protest this week demanding government action on illegal gold mining and the release of 54 activists detained for demonstrating against the illicit activity. The government's handling of illegal mining, particularly its impact on natural resources and rural livelihoods, which has become a flashpoint issue in the run-up to the West African countries' presidential elections in December, while the 54 members of the Democracy Help Pressure Group were arrested on September 22nd and 23rd for blocking roads and burning tires and remanded in custody for 2 weeks, prompting outrage from the public and politicians. Illegal mining, known locally as Glamese, has led to the contamination of major rivers, destruction of forests and farmland, and severe health risk. While John Mahama, leader of the opposition National Democratic Congress and a candidate for the December 7th election, said the arrest of the Democracy Help activists was high-handed and an abuse of their rights. In addition to gobbling up agricultural land, illegal mining, which uses chemicals to extract the gold, has polluted rivers and water tables. Here now is ATN Sports News. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has claimed he is worth over £100 million. Osimhen insisted he is one of the best footballers in the world currently. The 25-year-old was key to Napoli's Scudetto triumph 2 seasons ago, scoring 26 goals in Serie A and also become the first African player to become the Capocannoniere. However, last season it was clear that Osimhen was going to part ways with Napoli. He was linked to PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal and Al Ali, but the deal failed to materialize. Eventually, he signed for Turkish giant Galatasaray on a season-long deal after he was frozen out of Napoli squad for the season, and he has 4 games at the club. Osimhen has registered 2 goals and 4 assists. And now entertainment news. Famous Hollywood actress Funke Akindele and singer Mr. Easy have taken to social media to celebrate Nigeria's 64. The Stars celebrated Nigeria's independence on Tuesday, October 1st, with encouraging messages amid economic hardship in the country. Funke Akindele in an Instagram post wrote, "Nigeria will be great again." And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Police deny sealing RSIEC office in Port Harcourt. Police tears protesters in FCT. Tinubu convokes National Youth Confab. FD plans to sustain mining practices. Bots fire kills 23 persons in Thailand. I am worth over £100 million for semen. Funke Hills fans on Independence Day. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.